Hello, hello, soul space. How are you? I thought today I would come on and talk to you about the Ascension model of the spiritual awakening and how it affects how you live in interface with your home space. To me, you can't have one without the other, right? As our frequency, as our consciousness starts to expand, our awareness starts to expand through spiritual practices that I have in my master classes on my website for a whole $88. As your awareness and your consciousness, state of consciousness starts to expand, and we get out of the egoic mind, which is where most of us have lived for most of our lives, let's be real, then it's inherently keen to say that how you design and live in your home space is going to change. How you see color, how you interface with colors and textures, how you interface with space, dimensions, the environment, the elements, and what that comes into the home space to be like, right? So as I have ventured into the energetics of the home space, it's been really important for me to tune in to the field. So I'll let you know about my experience. Let's go here first. So as I started to do my spiritual practices and expansion and work in the realms of the mystic oracle, and started to really feel what it's like to live in the physical realms and the spiritual realms all at once as a multidimensional human. I interface with the physical and the spiritual all the time. It's like the cross, right? Like the 0 point field, which is the center, which is the heart space, which is where Jesus's heart was on the cross. But this is not religious, so hear me higher before you turn this off. It's all comes back to the heart space, and then to the bandwidth of the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th dimensions, which all have a frequency of color and a frequency of interfacing, and how we interface in the universe and the parallels in the matrix. Okay. Everything comes back to biocentrism in how the mind creates the vision, the illusion, the matter, the material, the physical realities that we are living in. This is a time to be alive. I know it seems like madness because the world outside is dark and chaotic and it's falling apart. That's the world that needs love. Those are the matrices and the dimensions and the demons that need so much love to be liberated, to come back. So as we work and as I did more work, I would notice my designs started to change. My design space, how I looked and viewed at space, started to change. I had really gone, so I built a house in 2014. Was it 2014? Yes, 2014. I loved grays. I loved muted grays. I loved deep colors. I loved patterns. And I loved dark wine feature walls. I loved all of those things. And so not right now, thank you. Sorry, my children are knocking on my door, and they know that when mommy's filming that we don't do that right now. That's okay. Sometimes I have to implement boundaries. And so the grays, right? So everything was gray. I had carpet. I mean, I did the gray floor. I did have feature walls. My furniture was a darker mute. I had a lot of plants. I had white fireplace. I had like, actually I took my fireplaces with me here. The white fireplaces was something that I absolutely like, just, and it's, they have vertical stone instead of horizontal stone. I did it vertically. Beautiful, beautiful white. It's like like a quartz type of stone. Anyways, that space is very different than this space. It had a lot of more closed in rooms, a lot of compartments, a lot of stuff to like shelving to hide things and that. And so I don't have that in this space. As I developed spiritually and brought in more awareness, having a home space that was open, airy, a lot of windows. I didn't have that in my old house. I did not have a lot of windows, and I didn't have a lot of land. But having the open space within the home became very important, and a lot of natural light, because the natural light affects the light body and the physical body. Not everybody requires the natural light as much as I do, but because I work in such a high spiritual brilliance, I really do require the flow of the energy. And so as we transitioned, I recognized the importance of having a space as such, which could be used for meditation, prayer, yoga, reading, a reading room, an office, what have you. But the importance of having that in a home space, I think it's a non-negotiable. If you work with me, you will see I always recommend, first things first, where is it going to be a space for you to go to ground, to tune into yourself? Can we make that space? Can we find a nook? Can we create it? Okay. And then my color palette changed. And now I'm ever shifting because I love design and I love trends and I love how things go and I love hidden elements. But I have antique tables that I've picked up at garage sales, antique pieces. And then I have accent pieces that have cost thousands and thousands of dollars. I have custom made floating shelves that are made from oak from a local artisan. And so I really transitioned in how I incorporated spiritual elements into my home and what my spirit needed to be able to expand in its highest capacity, to be able to show up as a wife, as a mother, as a daughter, as a hostess, as myself, as an entrepreneur in the space. All of these things interface with how I interface with the world, right? And until I designed this to be exactly what it is, I wasn't happy. I couldn't focus. I couldn't get aligned. I would spiral, and it just wasn't a grounding space until I moved things around about 100 times. I don't do that with clients. I can center in to your field very quickly, into your auric field, and define what you need as we sit in space together through our readings, right? So as I start to work with you and how you're interfacing in the spiritual world, it will give me a pattern, almost like a structure, a pattern of what's going to happen for you in the next year. And so I can basically see the timeline into the future. No, I can't. I'm not going to say basically. I can see the timeline and where you're going to be. And so I plan for the future. I bring the future into the now. Wild, right? It's like I get you to look at your best version of yourself in the future and then get you to start living like that in the now within the home space. It's home styling. I'm not there to tear down walls. I'm not there to, it's like home styling. I teach you to style your home. I style your home. I do the installs. I can shop for you. I help you pick textures, but it's all based on the spiritual being and how you can be the most optimal in your home space, right? It's so crazy because we're moving into the true new earth. Everybody needs a space where the soul feels expansive, but at ease, at peace. We're stepping out of a place of discomfort where we have to live in, oh, well, it's the kid's house, and oh, well, it's the man cave. No, it is an all-encompassing universe within itself is the home, right? It's an all-encompassing space within itself. The elements of music and the ancestors. I have a drum that my father made. He's indigenous, and so he made that and he sent it to me, and it sits in here. Essential oils, even the shapes of the things on my wall are purposeful and for a reason. My floating shelves, I don't desire to hide everything because those are things that I love and they help feed my soul and they lift me up. I offer plant medicine ceremonies in the space. I've done my own. My partner has done his own, right? As a medicine woman who is able to work and live in a very digestible and realistic reality, I'm also always working in an expanded modality of spirit. And so my husband, as a contractor, he just called me outside and he's like, do you like the shape of the driveway? Because we're getting it paved and it's very long because we're on an acreage. And I had to sit with like the circular structure and make some changes for the smoothness and how the circle was going to evolve in order to be able to expand within this space. Can't explain it. It's a grid line and a ley line and a pattern that I see above. Thought I would drop on and just share that with you because I know sometimes people are like, I don't understand what she does. And that's, you know what, my best clients, my biggest clients, my highest paying clients, they're like, I just loved you because I didn't know what you did. And I was curious and I just trusted your energy and trusted your field. And that's what it's about. It's about trust. It's about developing trust with the people you interface with. That's the new paradigm of the earth, trusting with your heart, not the mind. The mind lies, not analyzing everything and instead praying and then planning. It's shifting how we move in the world and how we interface and interact. It's stepping out of a fear-based determinism, life choice and stepping into positive psychology based on optimal growth and spiritual growth of the journey. There's so much to be had. There's so much magic. If you want, you can head on over to noranivens.com. I have so many different ways that you can work with me or interface with me, right from a monthly membership where it is just blowing up. It is wild. There's business advice, psychic advice, oracle advice, entrepreneurship, mindset, success building. We talk about plant medicine. We talk about spiritual tools. They get access to my free masterclass, which is a library of videos that I've recorded with spiritual practices, somatic practices, embodiment practices, quantum activations, chakra activations, all the things that I do in the run of a day to live like I do. It wasn't always like this for me. I used to be really unhappy. I used to hate myself. I used to want to end my life a lot. I never saw value in who I was until I did. And it took a lot of work and a lot of grit and a lot of bravery and courage to step into the field the way that I did in the methods that I did. It's not for the faint of heart. I'm not for the faint of heart. I'm for the person who's tired of living the way that they're living. I'm for the person who can't get out of their head, for the person who wants to be at home and feel peace in their home. I'm for the person that's lied to themselves and called themselves failures. I'm for the people who have been in addictions, had mental health diagnosis, and they know that that's not it. I'm for the people who, for everybody, but I'm for the people who really know that there's something else on the other side of all of this, on the other side of all the pain, on the other side of all the trauma. And we tap into that, and then we make your home beautiful and your life beautiful. And it's possible, and it's here for you. And I promise it's here for you, because if it was here for me, it's here for you. You have no idea. I love you.